Okay, this is a little video on minimalist running. I'm going to show you some of my minimalist shoes and just discuss the pros and cons. First, I suppose I should say a word about minimalist running. Ideally, as a minimalist runner, what you would want to wear is just this, absolutely nothing, your bare foot. However, unless you actually live on a golf course where you can run across lush, green, beautiful grass, or near a beach where you can run through wet sand, I would absolutely not recommend running totally barefoot. I have tried this in a city environment, and I will say that sidewalks, concrete, asphalt, the grass in your neighbor's yards, which can become sharp and brittle when it's dry and has all kinds of little rocks, burrs, stickers, your feet will get torn up. The most I've ever been able to run in a city environment before my feet were literally bloody is about 1.5 to 2 miles. So the foot does need some protection when running. Now, the idea behind minimalist shoes is to make you run in a more natural style. The human foot evolved on the plains of Africa with our ancestors just running and chasing down game, it appears, from all that we know. And the ideal form that we run with in our bare feet is with the front part of the foot, the middle to the front part of the foot striking the ground first. Now, most modern running shoes, tennis shoes, have a very, very thick sole on the heel. And this encourages you to strike heel first. A heel first strike, and then you roll your foot and push off. A lot of times this causes plantar fasciitis, problems with your back, problems with your legs, problems with your joints. A more natural running position is to run with your foot landing more to the middle or on the balls of your feet. I have seen and I have tried to run primarily landing on the very balls of my feet. You can do this. It puts an unbelievable amount of stress and pressure on your calf muscles and on the balls of your feet, and it really does not feel natural to run that way. For me, the natural way to run is to land more in the middle of your feet and have as little of your heel touching the ground as possible when you're running. Now, I've got lined up here the minimalist shoes that I use. Probably the most popular at present are the Vibrams. Vibrams are meant to be as minimal as possible. We have basically just a rubber sole here. You can see here, maybe, let me zoom back out a little bit. We have almost no padding on the heel. It's just a rubber sole here. Over the top here, you just slip your feet into the into the 5 toe fingers here at the end. They hold on there, and then there's a little tightener at the back. Now, this is a problem. These are the basic Vibrams. The problem here that I've had with these shoes is this little tab that sticks up here. On my right foot, it doesn't really bother me. On my left foot, you possibly can see here, I had to cut that off because it was digging into my Achilles heel, and it caused a terrible blister. Once I cut that off, it was fine and the running was good. But basically, you just slip these on, you are running in almost nothing. It feels great. The Vibrams are the first minimalist shoes I've ever used, and I still think they're probably the best. Something that I discovered about 6 months ago are these Saucony, S-A-U-C-O-N-Y, Hattori shoes. These are so light, it's unbelievable. They're lighter even than the Vibrams. We've got, again, a very minimalist heel and just a rubber sole. And then on top, we've got just a little mesh covering here at the front, a Velcro strap to kind of secure it a little bit. So not much here. These shoes maybe weigh 3 or 4 ounces. I mean, they are so light. This green Saucony Hattori shoe is lighter even than this Vibram shoe. and I absolutely love both of them. These here are the basic Vibrams. This is another brand of Vibram. Honestly, I can't remember what this brand name is for these Vibrams. The only difference between this set right here and this here is basically we have a mesh covering here on these Vibrams and a little Velcro strap to secure it in place a little more. Actually, these are great. They're a little bit warmer, so in the winter time you get a little more coverage on your foot, so these are a little nicer for running in the winter. These are just good fall, summer, spring shoes right here for the very minimalist of the Vibrams. Lastly, I also have these Vibrams. These I do not use to run in. They're much heavier. These yellow Vibrams, these are the Komodos. That's the brand name of these Vibrams, Komodos. They're much heavier than these other two Vibrams. I don't use these for running. I actually use these for walking, for just general getting out and about. I like them. They're comfortable. So I really do like these, but they are much heavier. They're not a shoe that I would use for running, though, because I like to have the most minimal shoe possible when I'm running. As far as wear and tear, these shoes, both the Saucony Hattoris and the Vibrams, they last as long as any normal running shoe. I would say probably even a little more. I try to run at least 5 miles every single day, if not more, and my shoes last me a good 6 to 8 months before they start to wear out. I'll show you where they wear, especially on these. These are my oldest pair of Vibrams. On my right foot, because it's my dominant foot, the toes wear fast. As you can see, I've got, some huge holes here on every single toe on these. And I'll show you, those are my oldest Vibrams. These are my Vibrams that I've had for about 6 months. This is 6 months worth of wear. I've got some tiny holes here in the first 3 toes. The last 2 are fine. But the left foot is not my dominant foot, and I have, as you'll see, no holes there. No holes there on my other. So really I should actually be throwing these out. I shouldn't really wear them much, but they're still okay. You just get a little bit of gravel and asphalt and sidewalk coming through. It really doesn't affect me that much, so I can still wear these. The Sauconys I've had for about 7 or 8 months now. You can see a little wear coming through here on the right foot. So they wear, actually, I would say probably a little better than the Vibrams, and they're extremely light. I really love them. One thing to keep in mind with these shoes is when you first get them and start wearing them, they are going to cause blisters on your feet. With the Sauconys, I have problems right around here, around the little bone spur that sticks out on your heel. They would rub there on both sides a little bit at first. I could only do about 2 miles in them before it would start hurting, so you have to gradually break them in. With the Vibrams, the 2 pairs of shoes were different. I have already mentioned the little tab that sticks up on the back of these that I had to cut off. With my other Vibrams, I would get problems right here on the sides of my feet, both sides, where I would rub blisters. What I would do is use some athletic tape to tape over the area where the blisters are forming. And after, I don't know, after about 2 or 3 weeks in the Vibrams and 2 or 3 weeks in the Sauconys, the foot would adapt to the shape of the shoe and the blister stop. So I pretty much don't have to wear any tape anymore with any of these shoes. I personally switch off and on every day. One day I'll wear my Sauconys, and the next day I'll wear my Vibrams. But these are great shoes. They're minimalist shoes. They get you to run in the correct form that you're supposed to get the ideal efficiency out of your stride. So those are my shoes. Those are my thoughts. Oh, let me mention price. I didn't even mention that. The Sauconys, these were $80. The Vibrams, depending on where you get them, are going to run you anywhere in the same price range, 80 bucks to close to $100. I would not, you can order these online. I would not recommend it. You really, especially with the Vibrams, you need to go into the store and be fitted for these so you get the absolute right fit. If you get a shoe that's too big, a Vibram shoe that's too big or too small, you're gonna have terrible blisters. Your stride's not gonna be right. These shoes need to fit perfectly. So I would not recommend ordering Vibrams online at all. You can get Vibrams at almost any running store. These are very popular now among minimalist runners. You can get them at hiking stores. A lot of people use them for trail hiking, so they're there as well. In Oklahoma City, they have them at Metro shoe stores. The same deal with the Saucony Hattoris. You can get them in the same places. The Sauconys, I found the sizes there basically fit with what I would normally get for any other size shoe. So if I wear a size 10 in normal tennis shoes, and I wear a size 10 in the Saucony Hattoris. So you might be able to get away with ordering those online, but still ideally it is best to go into a store to get fitted for them. One final benefit to these shoes, I can't say this for sure about all the brands from Vibram and all the brands from Saucony. Oh, and I don't think I've even given a close-up. There's Saucony, S-A-U-C-O-N-Y, and Hattori, H-A-T-T-O-R-I. I'm a vegan, so I don't like to use any products, any shoes that have any animal products, any leather whatsoever. All of these shoes here are completely vegan. They're made out of rubber and all synthetic man-made materials, so there's nothing here that came from an animal. These shoes are great. They're wonderful. It's so much nicer. You feel free. Your feet are completely unencumbered to get out there and run and not have a shoe that weighs half a pound to 10 ounces to even more. A big old heavy shoe. You're running more naturally. Your stride is more natural. You don't need, obviously, some people, you can buy 5-finger socks, 5-toe finger socks for the Vibrams if you want. I don't wear them. I don't use them. I don't recommend them. I like just to run in my bare feet. Same thing with the Hattoris. I run without socks in these. You can wear some little ankle socks if you want, but to me that kind of defeats the purpose of running in as minimalist a form and fashion as is possible. All of these shoes you can just toss in the washing machine and clean up, and they're done. Once a week, just keep them nice and clean so they don't get to smelling like your foot, you know, you're running and sweating in them. So easy cleanup, easy maintenance, and they last and wear really well. So anyway, I'm Travis. This has been my review of some minimalist running shoes. I hope it's helpful to you. Thank you. Peace.